Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride. Oh, my goodness gracious. Huge show announcement for this show. Huge. It's going to be great for you. It's going to be great for me. It's going to be great for everybody's mental health. Nick Sirianni addressed the media yesterday. He spoke for 15 minutes. And guess what? We're not going to play. We're not going to listen to one damn soundbite because I have been taking in way too much Nick Sirianni for the last week. So I'm out. We don't. If you said something Friday and it's really important, we'll play that. But oh my goodness gracious, I am Nick Sirianni'd out. I'm sure you are too. So instead, today we're going to hear from Jalen Hurts, a testy Jalen Hurts today. I don't know if you caught any of his press conference, but he's a little testy. It was interesting. He always wants people to ask him about certain things, and he goes into interviews or media sessions, press conferences, with the idea that they better ask me about this. And 100 times out of 100, he always wants to be asked about the opponent. Of course, this past weekend against the Cleveland Browns, the nice reporter did not ask him about how the Eagles defense played. Didn't give him an opportunity to talk about the Eagles defense. Hey, you didn't ask me about the defense. And you know what? Shout out to him. He wants to, credit to him. He wants to make sure that the proper credit goes to the defense for not allowing the Cleveland Browns in the end zone. So that's good. That's leadership, right? But in press conference a lot, he always wants to be asked about the upcoming opponent. And he'll say it at the end of the press conference. If he does, hey, the guys out there, you guys didn't ask me about the Giants in this case, right? So the first question is about the Giants and their front seven and their defensive line in particular and what they can do to get after the quarterback and what the Giants have done in years past, including last year with Wink Martindale as their defensive coordinator, how they have gotten after Jalen Hurts. So the first question, boom, out of the gate about the Giants. All right, check that box. Then he was asked about throwing over the middle of the field. And this is where things maybe got a little testy. He seemed a little annoyed by the question. He also seemed as if he didn't understand a very simple question that was phrased, I believe, perfectly by Tim McManus of ESPN. Hey, basically, I'll let you hear it, but throw it over the middle of the field. Why does that seem not to be a thing? Jalen seemed to take a little exception to that. Also, later in the press conference, he was asked about the slow starts to this offense, what he could do to improve upon those slow starts, and what the entire offense can do, not just him as a quarterback, but what the entire offense can do to make sure they get out of the gates as fast as humanly possible, which is not something we have seen the Eagles do this year. The only team in the NFL to not score points in the first quarter. What's happening with these weapons? Right. It certainly doesn't help that turnovers have been a thing. And according to Dallas Goedert, who is not expected to play this weekend, other teams are game planning for him. The Eagles are the only team that are being game planned for. How about that? So we'll get into that conversation. Lane Johnson. I literally was referring to him last week as like another offensive coordinator. A run game coordinator, if you will, the assistant to Jeff Stoutland in that regard. And they went up to Lane Johnson yesterday and they asked him, how do you get it going early in the game? How do you actually come out and make it worth all the game planning you did, all the scheming you did, the scripts that you put out there, right? The script, I should say, with the plays on it that you put out there. How do you make it all worth it? All the preparation that went into the game. How do you make it worth it, Lane Johnson? And Lane Johnson, very simple. Maybe up-tempo. Look, they're going to be playing on the road. And one of the things I always remember from the days of Peyton Manning, and he highlighted this better than anybody. But when you run up-tempo the way Aaron Rodgers would with the Packers, or Peyton Manning with the Colts most notably, when you run up-tempo on the road, it really helps take the fan out of it. And the way Peyton Manning would always break it down is if you just keep going continuously on offense, the crowd's not going to keep it up for that entire time. Literally, Peyton Manning would game plan for the crowd. He'd be like, all right, if I run up tempo here, that means that the fan doesn't have time to either sit down or take a sip of beer or eat a hot dog or whatever. So they're going to want to do all those things. So if I just keep going, they can't make noise for that entire time. That's the way he planned it. Maybe up tempo helps in New York North Jersey at MetLife Stadium, because it hasn't exactly been pretty for Jalen Hurts. It wasn't pretty for Jalen Hurts in his last go of it. And don't think because Wink Martindale's just not there anymore Don't think that all of a sudden is going to make the New York Giants just go, all right, well, I guess we'll just back off Jalen Hurts then, because that ain't going to be the thing. And maybe that conversation Jalen Hurts had with Wink Martindale, maybe that comes in to help a little bit more in this game here against the Giants, because the Giants are going to want to do a very similar thing. And Jalen Hurts not thrown over the middle of the field could be a direct result from the way he's getting pressure right through the middle of that line of scrimmage, breathing down his throat. But Lane Johnson said, hey, maybe a little up-tempo helps things, not only in the start of the game, but also throughout the game to make sure the Giants defense stays off. Now, here's the thing. The Giants defense hasn't been fantastic by any means. A lot of concerns have also come on the offensive side of the football. And I have said really throughout his entire career, Daniel Jones, and I don't respect Daniel Jones. I do not have a lot of respect for Daniel Jones at all. But the way Daniel Jones was going about or has gone about his career is unfortunately a very similar way that Jalen Hurts has played over the last year and a half, with the exception, finally, of this here game against the Browns, which is just wait for the turnover. Just wait for the turnover. And Daniel Jones is going to cough up that football sooner or later. Hopefully, after one game of Jalen Hurts playing clean and not turning the football over, which I predicted, by the way, going into it against the Browns, maybe we have something going here, a little Lou Brown, where we go, all right, now you got one game where you didn't do it. Now you got 2 in a row. And then maybe you go 3 in a row, and that's what's called a non-turnover streak. Maybe that's the way they go in this one. That's the way Jalen Hurts goes in this one. I'll cross my fingers for it. Also, Saquon Barkley returning to MetLife Stadium. I don't think he gets booed. I mean, I'm trying to think of it from our perspective. Would we boo Saquon? Like, would we boo Miles Sanders? Not that Miles Sanders is Saquon, but I'm just saying, like, here a lot of years and then gone. Would we boo that scenario? I don't think we would boo that scenario. I think we would boo the front office more than anything, especially with everything that's come out. I don't think he gets booed. He says he doesn't think he gets booed. But the other thing that he got into was the idea that this is a team game. He's not bigger than the game itself. Nothing's bigger than the rivalry that has been going on for 184 games between the Eagles and the Giants. The Eagles have the slight edge in that. I believe they're 5 games better than the Giants in that one. But I respect it, and I like that. He doesn't want to make it about him. And according to everybody else in the locker room, he's been same old Saquon. There's been no extra oomph on anything he's been doing this week because it's simple. It's just go out there and win. Nothing different in Saquon Barkley. Just wants to go out there and win. Grant Calcaterra addressed the media yesterday as well at his locker. First thing on Grant Calcaterra, that guy looks like he crushes IPAs. He just looks like he just loves himself in IPA. Like if I was at Julio's locker room, really crushes IPAs, I'd be like, who's that guy right there? Grant Calcaterra? That guy crushes IPAs. Okay. Thick mustache, buzz cut, the whole thing, puddle hipster. Anyway, so very excited about another opportunity that it looks like he'll get in this game coming up. And this relates to Saquon Barkley as well. I'm always concerned when it comes to a game that Dallas Goedert is not going to be playing in. I am always concerned about what the run game is going to do without Dallas Goedert. You notice a drop-off in the numbers when it comes to the run game. I mean, look at this one. Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley has his worst game. Dallas Goedert's out, in the first quarter? First 2 series? That ain't good. So now I got to cross my fingers that the Eagles' tight end position with Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stahl can go out there and do their thing. And Big O also being activated with the practice window, being activated at the practice window there. I want to see if that plays out in this game. I don't think it will. But it's concerning because Saquon can be such a weapon. And I don't want him feeling, while he's back in New York, I don't want him feeling like he's back in New York, if you know what I'm saying. With a lack of production. I'd like to see that get going again. And if it doesn't open in the run game, then I certainly want to see it open up in the passing game for Saquon Barkley. That's what I need to see in this game. I got to tell you, I am feeling pretty good about this Eagles weekend. And it's not just the idea of the Eagles looking at the whole Nick Sirianni fiasco throughout the week as if it's the new flower power speech, as if it's the new galvanizing moment for the locker room or anything like that. It's got the number one thing is that I don't feel like the Giants are that good. First and foremost, I feel like the Eagles certainly have a chip on their shoulder. And Jalen Hurts is coming off a game he didn't turn the football over. His first football game in over a year, or actually just a little less than a year, that he played clean. That's what I look forward to seeing. And that's why I have confidence in this Eagles team. Also, the defense could be hitting a stride as well. With or without Darius Slay, I still think Kelee Ringo is worthy of being a starting corner in the NFL. But if Cooper DeJean is that good, and the Browns tested him, now if Malik Neighbors plays in this game, you could be seeing some situations there. We're going to be seeing Quentin Mitchell lined up on him. Maybe you see a switch off to Cooper DeJean. He's going to get tested in this one as well. I don't think Jerry Jeudy is a scrub by any means. I don't think he's had very good quarterbacks in his career. But they tested him with Jerry Jeudy, and he won that game. Or he won that test. He aced it, rather. He has another opportunity to do it here again because, the Giants are going to test him. They're going to test Saquon Barkley. Of course, they're going to test Kelee Ringo if he ends up starting. Darius Slay, day to day, as of right now. But maybe this Eagles defense is hitting their stride. Maybe they needed that one game against the Browns. Maybe it was, and these things only get proven over time, but maybe, just maybe, this game against the Browns was a get-right game. Maybe that's what they needed. Maybe the bye week, and then the Browns immediately after the bye week. And then a Giants game, I know it's a divisional game, and I know it's, you can never really count on these divisional games as to be blowouts or anything like that. Yeah, how about just a controlled win? That's all I'm asking for. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine 2 days ago about just their overall Philadelphia sports depression. And it's like, I want my football team to go on a run. I want my baseball team to be able to play the World Series again. And I'm like, is this all? I want the Sixers to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm like, this is it? This is all you want? All those things? Anything from the Flyers, Stanley Cup, that kind of thing. And it just is a tough situation right now, especially with all the extracurricular drama that's going on right now outside the depression that's been Philadelphia sports. I know they put us on a wonderful pedestal and then disappointed us. I know these divisional games against the Giants can always be tough. I know the divisional games in general can always be tough. It would be fantastic if it wasn't. It would be absolutely fantastic if it was just the Eagles going out there and doing their thing. And speaking of doing their thing, and the Sixers last night. We'll talk about Jerry McCain as well. What went down with him against the Nets. Had to go to the hospital, unfortunately. Hard fall. Fell on his back. So we'll get to that as well. But without further ado, let's get into this conversation that was being had with Jalen Hurts in the media yesterday. We'll start it off with the Eagles being the only team in the NFL to not score in the first quarter. What is Jalen Hurts' influence on the game plan to right that mistake?
How involved have you been in the construction of the opening scripts? And what needs to be done to kind of get you the throws that you want on those early downs?
It's not necessarily what anyone wants. It's about what works and what's best for us. And so I think we've had, some missed opportunities that we haven't taken advantage of. But I think beyond what's going on with the plays, I think it's a matter of getting the first down. Once you get the first down, you put yourself in a really good position. So that's what it's about.
They haven't gotten that first down. And two things that jump out to me glaringly, three things actually, two with Jalen Hurts, one with the coaching, is we can go all the way back to Brazil, go all the way back to week 1. Jalen Hurts throws the ball, just an ill-advised throw, awful throw, interception. That was that. Defense steps up, holds them to a field goal, despite getting the ball back at the 19-yard line, I think it was. That's the one that jumps out to me most glaringly. Then against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's got Saquon. He's rolling out to the right. I mean, rolling out, he's escaping pressure is what he's doing. He's got Saquon open down the sideline. Nobody is between Saquon and the end zone. He's throwing on the run, which we've seen him do many, many times over. He airs that ball out, lets Saquon run under it. Touchdown. Simple as that. Instead, it was a 3-and-out. That ain't good. And then this game, most recently against the Cleveland Browns, the Eagles get 5 yards 5 yards right out of the gate with Saquon Barkley running the football. And then they throw it, incomplete. And then they throw it, incomplete. And then they punt. Got 5 yards. That's not on Jalen. That's on coaching. I don't know if Jalen saw something and he checked it, but to me, it's just coaching, especially if you're talking about the first possession of the game. Not much is going to be changing from your game plan there. It's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating, whether it's the turnovers, whether it's a missed throw, whether it's bad coaching. It's all, unfortunately, played into the Eagles struggling in the first quarter of games. It's not just Jalen. It's the whole team. And by whole team, I mean the offense. Because defense has come out ready to play, whether it was against the Packers or whether it was against Cleveland Browns, whether it was against the New Orleans Saints. They've been out there ready to play. Now, this is where things got a little interesting with Jalen Hurts. Very interesting, as a matter of fact. The middle of the field. Do I have this? I do have this. E.J. Smith, Inquirer.com, put this out there. And this is a story that goes back to last year and even a little bit before that, even MVP-esque run from Jalen Hurts 2 years ago. But this is the passing chart there for Jalen Hurts. This is from against the Browns. Do you see nothing there in between the hash marks? Nothing. Not a throw. Nothing. There's one throw close to the hash marks. About 13 yards up from the line of scrimmage there, maybe 14 yards up from the line of scrimmage. And that was the completion to one of the completions to Grant Calcaterra. But that's even not between. That's not between the hash marks. Either. Like it's E.J. Smith used the word glaring. It is glaring that you're not seeing him throw in the middle of the field, and it's always that way. Another close throw you could have to the middle of the field is a throw from Hurts to Devontae Smith on those drag routes where they run that mesh concept, right? They have to avoid the pick play on those all the time. That's not in the middle of the field either. Could be if he threw it a little earlier, but he waits. And look, I don't need Jalen Hurts to go out and make sure that he's throwing over the middle of the field. I just need Jalen Hurts to let defenses know that it's an option. Because if you're a defensive coordinator playing Jalen Hurts, okay, I don't need to take away the middle of the field. He ain't looking there anyway. You look at the 3 quarters of the field, I only have to worry about 2 of them because you just, for whatever reason, don't like throwing in the middle. Now, look, this is a story that has been going on for a long time. And it's not even a story as much as just tracking what Jalen Hurts is doing as a quarterback. So Tim McMahon at ESPN asked a very legitimate question that a lot of people have. And this is the way Jalen Hurts went about it.
Jalen, the numbers of you throwing over the middle are kind of low relative to the rest of the league. And, that has been a bit of a trend. It brings up the question whether you just don't like throwing over the middle. Can you address that, like what the answer is as to why those numbers are typically down?
To what?
Throwing over the middle of the field.
Yeah, what about it?
The reason why you think like that is the case.
It was just not throwing it over the middle. Just kind of how it's gone. It's not like I like throwing anywhere specifically. It just hasn't panned out that way.
So, MetLife has been kind of...
Answer your question?
I think so. I mean, so it's not a preference thing.
It's not.
I mean, I'm not crazy, right? Like, there's a little, and I don't mind. Like, I look, we can all have bad days where maybe we got a little attitude about us. I don't know. But like, he just asked the question. What was the question? Was not paying attention. Like, it's just something he doesn't want to talk about. All right, fine. According to Jalen Hurts, it's not a matter of preference for him to not throw over the middle of the field. This is just the way the game is played out. To never throw over the middle of the field? Hey, that seems rather interesting. I don't get it. All I need is Jalen Hurts to let other defensive coordinators know that it's a possibility that he could go over the middle of the field. I don't need him to go out there and just, let me just throw everything right down the middle because I need to offset the stats. Like, that's obviously stupid. I just need to, I don't need the Eagles to run the ball every single down, like some other people might scream for, I just need them to do it enough where the opposing team could go, they could run the ball here. Maybe I'll bite on this play action. And, the whole time, especially in the first quarter, I really thought that the Eagles were trying to establish the run against the Browns to set up play action later. And I remember me, Gunner, Seth were talking about it during the first quarter. Like, oh, look at this. They're actually they could be setting up the play action. And then they went on to run the least amount of play action they ever have this season. The least. So, well, they rope-a-doped us on that one. But I just need to let you know that they're going to run the football. I just need Jalen Hurts to let defense coordinators know, hey, I could be throwing over the middle of the field. To maybe spread things out, keep them on their toes a little bit more, open things up elsewhere. So I don't have to. If I'm a DC, I just concentrate on the outside portions of the field. Just concentrate on those quarters, and I'm good. No problem. It becomes, what was the buzzword last year? Oh yeah, predictable, and that ain't good. As far as the first quarter goes for the rest of the team, I feel like Lane Johnson really carries a lot of weight with his influence and his opinions. Up-tempo seems to be the way to go. Lane Johnson addressed the media at his locker yesterday, talking about what needs to happen for the Eagles to get off to good starts.
I think that's, you can obviously have a game plan, but, a lot of stuff changes when you get to the game. They're going to show you looks that you haven't practiced. And so, I think the adjustments on the sideline, just as important, maybe more important than what game plan you have. So, it's definitely something we're addressing. I think we do some good stuff when we're running tempo and run our, hurry up offense. So, all things considered, we're going to push the envelope and try to get that fast start this week. Make it more sense of urgency for us. So that's really it.
I would love a sense of urgency. I think we'd all love a sense of urgency. But as far as the up-tempo stuff goes, you see a lot of teams do. I mean, before Chip Kelly ever got into the NFL, sorry to bring up that name, but there's relevance. Before Chip Kelly ever got into the NFL, people were always talking about, like, what was his influence? When did you start seeing his influence? The influence really came with the up-tempo. You started seeing it with New England, and then you really started seeing it with Green Bay, and then you also would see it with Peyton Manning and the Colts and later the Broncos. Up-tempo out of the gate, almost a 2-minute drill right out of the gate. Before Chip Kelly ever coached it down with the Eagles in the NFL, that was the influence. And it was the idea of getting all these plays off. Oh, so many plays, as many plays as humanly possible. Forget about time of possession. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As Chip Kelly would say, what does that prove? The other team just stood around with the ball longer? No, we were efficient. We were getting things done when we had the football. And then eventually Chip Kelly came around in the fourth quarter that if you're leading, if you're winning the game, you can start killing some clock. But the first influence of Chip Kelly in the NFL was 1,000% up-tempo offense out of the gate. Almost running a 2-minute drill style offense right out of the gate. Up-tempo became more and more of a thing with Chip Kelly's success in Oregon and then later coming into the NFL itself. I love when a team comes out up-tempo. Because instead of like a boxer feeling another boxer out, are you going to react to this jab if I throw this? How are you going to react to this? What are you going to do if I step here? Where are you going to stab? Like kind of feel, you're just going to hell with it. I'm just trying to knock you out. And you're just going right up there. Now, you can make mistakes when that happens, certainly. But if the Eagles go out there with the players they have at the skilled positions, do you think you want that if you're the Giants defense? You don't want that smoke. Nobody in the NFL wants that smoke. You have a guy like A.J. Brown. You have Devontae Smith, obviously, out there. And Saquon Barkley in I don't care what he says. He says it's in no way a prove-it game. The Giants know what he can do. The Giants fans know what he can do. But the hell with any extra added bonus of playing your former team. Throw that out the window for a second and just concentrate on the fact that Saquon Barkley is a very good / great NFL running back. And even better, a great weapon in your offense. Put those three guys out there with Jalen Hurts trying to sling it to him, whether it's in the middle of the field or on the outside, whatever, outside the hash marks, like everything else. Any defense is going to struggle with that. Any defense. And if Jalen Hurts is going to be as good against the blitz as he's been this year against the Giants blitz, then things are going to be looking pretty damn good for the Eagles come Sunday. But I think up-tempo would make the Eagles that much better. And that's really one thing you haven't seen them try. You see them try to run the ball. You see them try to, unfortunately, just throw. But one thing you really haven't seen from them is going up tempo. Maybe that's the cure-all. And if it's not the cure-all for the rest of the season, which what is ever the cure-all for an entire season, maybe it'll be a cure-all just to snap this streak of not getting out to good starts. And I've said it a million times. And look, Lane Johnson speaking, if he's saying it to the media, he's brought it up to the coaches. And if there's anybody in that Eagles locker room that is not afraid to let his opinion be known about what the offense should or shouldn't be doing, it is absolutely, more than anybody, Lane Johnson. Sure, they might go to Jalen Hurts every single week, absolutely. But the guy that's probably knocking on doors, just like he does during the game, like, hey, this is working, we should keep doing it, that's Lane Johnson. Or Lane Johnson just coming into a meeting going, hey, I just shot in the dark here. Why don't we just start up tempo? Instead of like trying to like really work out the best possible scheme in terms of route trees and run philosophies and concepts, maybe we just go faster. Maybe we just put the pedal to the metal to start things out. Try to catch that defense off guard. While they're trying to react to a 10-yard first down reception by Devontae Smith, we're setting up a 60-yard bomb to A.J. Brown or whatever. Maybe that's the way they do it. Maybe it's a methodical 10-play drive that takes 3 minutes to get down the field before they score a touchdown. Maybe that's what it is. But I would have no doubt in my mind that if Lane Johnson is already saying this or saying this to the media at his locker, I have no doubt in my mind he's already made this suggestion or already made the suggestion this way. Hey, guys, I know you guys are really trying to crack this code, but maybe just a little up-tempo. And we'll find ourselves, in the end zone. And hold on, in the first quarter. I'd love to see it. And I think he's right. Now, unfortunately, this is exactly why head coaches and offense coordinators in general, don't talk about the game plan going into it. So maybe now the Giants are going to be a little bit ready for that. The Eagles seem to have tried everything else. And one thing that I'll take away, other than everything else that went on that day, when Nick Sirianni was talking about, when he was asked about the slow starts for the offense, he talked about how they'll figure it out. Guys, we'll figure it out. I know you guys are clinging to a story because you have something to write about it. I know you guys are bringing it up, and blah, blah. We'll figure it out. Okay, we're still waiting. This is a problem last year. This is a problem this year. Jalen Hurts has figured out how to not turn the football over. And what's even more impressive is the idea of not just not turning the football over, but the precious pigskin was never in peril. All right, well, that gives me hope that down the line, maybe he's cracked the code on this. But another carryover problem, now that one hopefully is cured. Another carryover problem from last year is not scoring in the first quarter, not starting strong. The Eagles have an opportunity to start strong here against the Giants. A Giants defense that gave up, I think it was plus 75 yards to 2 wide receivers last week in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. A Giants defense that is giving just a lash under 5 yards per carry to running backs this year. That Giants defense is not exactly stout, okay? This is a game you're going to have success with. This is a game you should be able to have some fun with. And if you do the right job as coaches, you will have that success. Because I think the players will be putting themselves in a great position in this game to have success. But the thing that is so haunting about not having strong starts is that, and I say this a lot, but a coaching staff never has their fingerprints on success or failure more so than the first quarter of a game. When everything you have done to prepare for that game is either working or it's not. So you either screw it up royally, in the preparation you made for that game, or you knew exactly what you were doing. You figured out the chess match first and foremost. You said, all right, well, they're thinking that I'm going to do this, so I think they're going to do that, and I'll exploit it. You won that battle. The Eagles coaching staff hasn't won that battle yet. Now, a lot of it has come down to coaching. A lot of it has come down to, obviously, play on the field. But when it's a repetitive thing, like we've seen this year and the end of last year, not getting out to strong starts, struggling the way the Eagles have in the first quarter, I look more at coaching than I do anything else. You heard from Lane Johnson right there also talk about how you talk about this team is in a position with their coaching staff to make adjustments in game. The thing that I always go back to with Andy Reid was I always felt like the preparation was great. Preparation was fantastic. But it was the in-game adjustments that was always the killer, unfortunately. I'm hoping the in-game adjustments are there because that's also good coaching too. Oh, what we did during the week isn't – oh, shoot. It isn't working? All right. Where do we go from here? What's plan B, C, and D? Hopefully they hopefully they never have to get to plan D. But that's the way you can look at it when it comes to this matchup. Again, I'm feeling pretty confident. I know that people are in a bad place right now, feeling in a bad place about the Eagles. When you just look at the game itself and forget about all the other stuff that I wish didn't matter, if they win, Nick Sirianni will be tolerated. If they lose, more and more people are going to be calling for his head. But all that matters is what happens on that football field. Whatever is said at the locker rooms, whatever said in the press conferences, whatever behavior there is on the sidelines, it all goes out the window. It starts with beating the Giants. Then you got to beat the Cowboys. By the way, speaking of things off the field, how much fun is it just to listen to like Jerry Jones be pissed at everyone, including radio personalities that are interviewing him and telling them what their job is and how he'll get somebody else to ask him questions. Oh my God, that is so much fun. Just all 7 of Jerry Jones's faces, past and present, just angry faced. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. Oh God, it's a bask in that for a minute. But yeah, it all comes down to what happens on that football field on Sunday. You start by beating the Giants after the meltdown. Show people that it could be the turnaround of the season and all that stuff. And look, a turnaround of the season when you're a winning record of 3-2. By the way, speaking of 3-2, I can't remember a time where I was ever more exhausted after a win. Like, just mentally exhausted. Like, hold on a second. How much stuff are you guys giving us to handle after a win? The Sirianni exploits on the sideline to lying about calling a play and being caught in that lie. This entire week after the win has been one of these. Ugh. Without question. Without question. By the way, I'm having the spotty internet thing today. Let me just acknowledge that. It's not you, it's me. I apologize. Maybe I need to have an up-tempo internet. Just kidding. It's the fastest it could possibly be, supposedly. Anyway, let me tell you about the great people at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Football? Going to a football game? Want to get some tickets? Maybe you want to go up to the Meadowlands? Maybe you want some tickets for games here in Philadelphia. Download the Game Time app. Maybe a college football game. Huh? You Penn Staters? Game Time app. Game Time app is fantastic. Game Time also has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite team's live event easier and faster. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All that right there is on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase. Let's not forget about the last-minute ticket deals, the flash ticket deals. They even have ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So what does that mean? That means if you want to go to a concert or a comedy show and you just want to see that headliner at a super low price, take advantage of all they have to offer. You'll get a great discount on the Game Time app, as you can buy tickets for an hour after the event starts. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, get $20 off your first purchase. Also, they have the Game Time all-in pricing feature, which allows you to see the price you pay before you check out. So there's no sticker shock when you go to check out. You know exactly what you're getting with the Game Time app. So once again, download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about Sky Motorcars? SkyMotorcars.com. Check out our friend Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's not forget about our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Download the MyBookie app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus with the MyBookie app. You can bet on the world of basketball, bet on the world of football, bet on the world of baseball. The Mets lost last night. MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Use promo code Farzy for up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Let's get into the chat check, ladies and gentlemen. See how everybody's doing on this fine Thursday morning. Oh, my goodness gracious. QB, what's going on? Good morning, Sunshines. Good morning to you. Sean Gillespie, hello. April, hello. James Alexander, good morning, Farzy. That injury was scary last night to Jared McCain. Jared McCain's injury was scary last night. Once again, he went down on his back against the Nets. Kelly Oubre was asked about Jared McCain last night. Said he's fine. It was scary. He caught himself. Luckily, he didn't fall flat on his back. He's going to feel it tomorrow. That's kind of what we were telling him. He just has to kind of take it easy. Make sure he's 100% for opening night. There was another quote from Nick Nurse, I thought it was too. No, that was KJ Martin. Yeah, so he did go to the hospital to get looked at, and looks like he'll be okay. Jared McCain. So there you go. But yeah, that looked rough last night against the Nets. We got to make sure it's not worse than expected. Yeah, no, I think he's all right. Good morning, Fuji. What's going on, Fuji? Thirsty Thursday. Jeez. 7:16 in the morning, Fuji. I don't know when you made the comment, but all right. I'll have one. I mean, I don't want to be rude. Make you drink by yourself. You know what I mean? April Farzy on dealer time. Yeah, I had this Saquon soundbite that for whatever reason did not want to load. I mean, look, I paraphrased it for you, but still, it's a rather off-putting. You know what I mean? Jason A, hello. Eagles fan, good morning, Farzy. Coffee time. Enjoy the Java. Sean Kilray, good morning. Jason A, everyone knows he can't see over the offensive line. Yeah, that's a concern. Like, whenever I think of that, I think about Drew Brees getting on his tiptoes to see over the line of scrimmage, like see over the offensive line. Haven't seen it from Jalen, unfortunately. The one throw that I really remember him throwing over the middle that I really go back to with any consistency, that the one that really jumps out, was the interception he had, unfortunately, against the Vikings last year. It was just the kind of throw that I was like, what? Huh? What are you doing? We have a show today. Show. Sorry, Sean. Yeah, again, late. As April said, dealer time. Anthony Wilson, good morning. Sean Kilray, it was obvious Hurts didn't like the more offense from the beginning, Farzy. You agree or disagree? So I think it was Kurt Warner that put it out there recently saying that, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, and now Kellen Moore. Is it the quarterback, or is it coaching? That's scary. Yeah, this was back on game day, I believe it was. It's from Kurt Warner tweeting. It's fascinating to me, through 3 different coordinators, the past concepts run by the Eagles remains primarily the same. I would not expect that, especially this year with Kellen Moore. Maybe it's more about the quarterback than the coordinator in that respect. Question mark, exclamation point. Yeah, it's concerning. But the only thing is, with one coordinator, he had a lot of success doing all this. So maybe the league figured him out. That's possible as well. But the bigger thing for me, more than the past concepts, is don't turn the football over. And Jalen just had the first game in a year where he didn't put the precious pig skin in peril. But I don't know what to make of it. But you're saying obvious Hurts didn't like the Moore offense. I don't think Moore liked the Hurts turning the ball over. And here's one thing I'm hoping it's – well, first off, I hope it's not that. I want him to embrace anything Kellen Moore wants to do. He was brought in here for a reason. I hope it's not a power struggle with Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore, because I don't think other than game day, Nick Sirianni has that much power. And when I say power, I mean deciding whether or not to go for it on fourth down and occasionally calling a play, which is, oh, we have a 3rd and short here. I like this one. Let's do this. But I hope it's not Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts not being on the same page. Kyle Wright, I have zero faith in this coaching staff. We're together on that one. Jay say, crazy how he asked what was the question again. He can't see over the line. That's why he's always in shotgun. Jalen Hurts is what, 6'2"? How tall is Jalen Hurts? 6'1"? What is he listed as? I've stood next to him and I feel like I was looking up a little bit. And he's 6'1". Yeah, I was looking up a little bit. One doctor said I was 6 foot, so I'll take that. I'm really 5'11" and a half if we're being real with each other, which we always are on this program. Cowboys should love Jerry. Without him, they wouldn't have those 3 Super Bowls either. Yeah, they also might have 5 Super Bowls if Jerry got the hell out of the way. Thank God he didn't. 3 weeks are going to establish who the Eagles really are. I would agree. Really, for the McCain? Oh, wait, hold on. What am I missing here on the McCain? Well, that's not it. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do. Yeah, okay, here's the Nick Nurse quote. Trouble breathing, taken to the hospital. Wind knocked out of him. The players were all saying that he was going to be fine. All right. So hopefully that's the case. One more time never hurt you. You know what I mean? Can you dress as Santa Claus for Halloween? Yeah, why not? Go for it. You can do whatever you want. It's Halloween, man. Nothing better than... How about Kike Hernandez? Anybody else love Kike Hernandez? Because I love Kike. I'll tell you why. Because he loves Chase Utley. And he calls Chase Utley dad. So that's why I love Kike Hernandez. April, I love seeing the Cowboys melt down. It's my favorite time of year. Oh, yeah, Sean, that's a good point. Fangio, in his press conference, was asked about, hey, how did you know Cooper DeJean be ready for that role? And he's like, I didn't. I love that because Fangio's been around the block, baby. Fangio knows that he can watch a player and go, I think he's ready. Gets in the game. He's not ready. Why don't you come out and sit next to me, son? Or come up and sit in the booth next to me and watch how this game's supposed to be played. But yeah, I thought that was interesting as well. And that was very honest, which is pretty much par for the course for Vic Fangio. Wine Nighters Wine. Hello. Good morning, Farzi and friends. Smash that like button. Oh, that's very kind. Thank you so much. Remember, Flyers don't suck because coaching matters. Flyers are back at it tonight. They won the opener in overtime. Or in the shootout. They won the opener in the shootout, and they lost their second game against the Flames in overtime. That's a shame. Why do you think Jalen is having such a hard time in the offense? Eagles 575. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Look, it matters. It shouldn't be everything, but I think it does matter that he's only had In the games he's had A.J. Brown, he's 2-0. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish he had – no, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that he's still 2-0. But I wish in games where he didn't have A.J. Brown, he still was able to run a pretty damn good offense, and you haven't seen that either. So as I said, after the Buccaneers loss, I think it was, I still think this Eagles team is going to the playoffs. It's a question for me of whether or not they're going to be a one and done. Right now, they look like a one and done team. I would like them not to be. I'd like them to win a lot of football games. I'd like them to win playoff games. And hopefully they really start making people believers after this game against the Giants. But Jalen having a hard time with the offense. I think it's a new offense, and he hasn't had consistently the regular pieces with him. And he makes mistakes. He makes too many mistakes. It's on him. That part of it is on him. Yeah, thank you. That was the next thing I was going to do. So Jalen Hurts is 6'1". Drew Brees was like 5'11", which means he's probably going to be listed as 6 foot. 6 foot. No way he was 6 foot. I would say 5'11". But anyway, that's an inch difference we're talking about here. It makes sense because the offense looks the same and it's definitely analytic driven. Yep. Too damn funny. Theodore. Nicholas, what's happening? Hurts and Stoutland do not like motion, and Hurts doesn't like under center. Why do we have an OC? I don't know. Where do you get Stoutland doesn't like motion? I mean, that shouldn't have much to do with what Stoutland's doing. Theodore, back to RPO, QB option, QB keeper, and push. Deja vu. Yeah, the read option has not been, or run pass option has not been successful for the Eagles recently. It was 2 years ago, not last year and not this year. Why Niners? Why? Not sure a team from the NFC East will make a wild card berth. NFC North is strong. Washington, best team right now. Right now. He does it for the old. Yeah, but the type of motion that you've seen from Kellen Moore doesn't involve the offensive line. Like a lot of times, those guys are just running like a decoy route. Anything that keeps a defensive back guessing more so than a defensive lineman or linebacker. And it might open things up for his run game if he's the run game coordinator. So yeah, I don't buy that. I don't think Stoutland has a problem with it. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. As per usual, let's get to the morning rush brought to by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Yeah, we'll wait for official word on Jared McCain, but all seems to be okay, at least according to the players. As you would assume, your head coach had a words of concern after the loss, or excuse me, after the game last night. Where they did win 117-95, by the way. Their last preseason tune-up is tomorrow in Orlando against the Magic. 7 o'clock tip-off. As far as last night's game went, Kelly Oubre, how about him? Leading the charge with 18 points. KJ Martin at 12 points, 6 rebounds. Andre Drummond, 7 points, 9 boards. Let's go, baby. Ricky Council, the fourth, had 9 points. Love seeing that from him. Your Philadelphia Flyers are back at it tonight. Look forward to that game. Another late one against the Kraken in Seattle. 10 o'clock puck drop. That's going down tonight. Flyers are, I hate this, 1-1-1 on the season. That's right. You heard me. Flyers are 1-1-1. For the what am I saying? They lost to the Flames, then the Oilers. That was the game I was thinking of. The game against the Flames, they lost in regulation. The game against the Oilers is the game they lost in the overtime period. That's the way that went. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Download the MyBookie app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus on MyBookie. mybookie.ag. Do yourself a favor. Like, subscribe to the Farzy Show. Like and subscribe to Jacob Media. Like and subscribe to the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel as well for all your Eagles pre- and post-game needs with yours truly, Derek Gunn and Seth Joyner. And go ahead and like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, where in a week, yours truly will be breaking down 6 days the Philadelphia 76ers after every game on their postcast. So like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Be back with you guys tomorrow for our Eagles-Giants preview. See you guys then.